It's Real Fit Radio with B
and J.LOU.
If this is your first time listening, welcome. And if you're a returning listener, welcome back.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's all right to find out you don't have all the right answers, because now you can start asking all the right questions. Got that from one of the movies you really don't care for, Thor.
Oh, okay. I don't really remember Thor, but
It was the second one.
Okay. You going through all the Marvel movies?
Yep, and I heard that, and I paused it, and I thought that was a pretty dope quote, so I saved it.
It's going to touch somebody. And guess what? If they don't understand it, they're going to ask.
Yeah, the right question.
Exactly. I prefer to ask questions if I'm not super knowledgeable on something, because I want to feel confident about what I'm doing or what I'm talking about, whatever it is. So I was that kid in class. Any questions? My hand would go straight up, and everybody, oh man, you again? I was very inquisitive. I like that. It is Friday. We're supposed to record on Wednesday. It's been a crazy week, and just like crazy busy, not crazy as in bad. The world is opening back up. I'm not sure wherever you're listening from, what's going on, but we are in Los Angeles, California, and they just opened up restaurants, so you're able to dine in. Masks still in place. You still have to wear the mask, but the sun is out and it's daylight savings, so we've got daylight a lot longer, and so we're trying to get a lot more done. And we thought it was Wednesday or Tuesday. The week has just escaped us. So here we are getting this podcast to you guys. I'm tired.
I didn't think it was. I knew exactly what day it was. Time is moving. Just didn't have time to do it on Wednesday. Then Thursday came and went. Then Friday pretty much came and went. And I just reminded you, hey, we doing a podcast, and you said I forgot.
Well, I got in the bed. I just was so ready to lay down, but here we are. I hope that you all are doing well and getting things done. I've been thinking and really getting myself more acclimated to what I know to be an issue with me. I'll get flustered or frustrated if something's not done the right way, or I find myself getting frustrated when something doesn't happen the way I see it, or I planned for it to go this way and it didn't go exactly how I saw it. So I think I repeated myself. You guys, just bear with me. I'm tired, which takes me into what I want to talk about. Progress, not perfection. I believe there is success in your effort when you continue to try, even though it's not exactly how you see it. You have to keep showing up. So here we are, and it's not always going to be exactly how we see it. You talked about it last week's podcast. We keep having these hiccups. Things are happening, when you go to do the
editing process.
There you go. Thank you. You took a long time. You're the only one that is editing.
I know what you was trying to aim for.
When you go to edit, you had a lot of feedback in some sections. Then the actual tool we used to record, that wasn't showing up on one of the other laptops, so we had to switch them out. And you're trying to figure out why you're getting this echo and this feedback. And so I'm telling you, but we still did it. And you're like, but these things keep happening. But it's still progress, because we're still creating content and we're still uploading on Mondays. We have not missed a Monday yet. I'm excited about that, and I want to continue doing that, getting it out every Monday. But when you look at the goals you set, or there's an end game, there's steps you have to take to get there, and sometimes it looks like it's not going to happen. It's just you're so far off. Things are getting done, but it doesn't even seem like it's aligned or getting you closer to where you see yourself being or having this finished project or the outcome. And it's those moments where you just got to kind of bask in the success of the progress. So that's what my mind has been on, just executing and understanding it's a process and it's progress still, because I'm showing up for it. I've showed up tonight, and my energy is usually...
You can always tell when she burned out.
Yeah, my energy, it's not even low. I'm just really tired. Lou and I Shopping for a bed is like shopping for a car. And we laid in beds, we tested beds. They did like a whole test for us so they could give us a better or more accurate idea of which type of bed based on firmness or, soft, or if you need more support. It's almost like your sleep number, I guess, but it was the color. And once you get that color, you get to try all the beds that are that color. And yeah, that was interesting. So we've been doing that. But in the midst of those things that we are doing for ourselves to take care of ourselves and make sure that we have the best tools possible so that we are in good health and we're fully invigorated or just energized and we can come in. When you feel good, I think your performance is better. And with all that, still stuff happens. You're just tired. And so I'm tired, but we're here. And Lou, you're tired too. You're just looking at me.
Yeah, I am tired. I am.
But
I knew we had to do this, and I need every bit of tomorrow and Sunday to get it ready and prepared for Monday.
You know what I'd like to do that's a little bit interesting, and I always hope there's a takeaway. And we're able to see the analytics, different areas where people are listening once the podcast is downloaded. I would love to get not feedback, but just hear from you guys if there's anything that you'd like for us to have an open conversation about or you want to hear our thoughts on. And also, I like the feedback on if there were some takeaways or some things in any of the podcasts that we've uploaded that have assisted in some way or opened up a whole new thought process for you. If you were just kind of like, I never thought of it that way. And we're always open to hearing your thoughts on different topics that we have. It's so funny because I never thought that I would be podcasting, but this is a way to access millions and millions of people, and you want to use every tool or resource to, we say, inspire, impact, and empower in whatever way we can. So here we are. But it's very interesting because we say turn this mic on and you're talking, and I'm not just having a conversation with Lou. He's tired, so we would probably get in the bed and fizzle out, but it's like, we got to do this. So I would love to hear from you guys in whatever way you want to communicate, be it feedback, just your thoughts. I think it's important to have the dialogue. I know for some people it's like put it out there and keep going. And if that's how it is, that's fine too. It's not a forced thing, but it's welcome. And I'd love to know what the takeaways are, what your thoughts are, or what you want to talk about or want us to lend our thoughts to.
I definitely would want to hear from people and their views or some topics that you want us to touch bases on, because it is an open dialogue. We like talking to one another, but there are things that we may or may have not experienced the same way you have. So it just gives us some insight on some of your experiences, and then we can possibly have a dialogue on those, as well as maybe it's something that we have said before and you share your thoughts on it, and then on the next podcast we'll bring up one of the things that whoever it is that said it, we'll be like, oh yeah, such and such said an interesting thing about this particular topic, and before we touch bases on this up and coming topic, we talk about it. So I think that would be pretty dope. I encourage you guys as well to lend us some of your time and effort to come up with some thoughts of your own in regards to either a topic or a comment. It's always good to hear somebody's perspective. That's how I learn. As far as the progress, not perfection, I find that a lot of people get discouraged about progression, mainly because I think I said something similar before, not having a concrete goal or a goal in mind. If you don't have anything that you're striving for, I would advise you to have it written down so that way you can see it. But if you don't and you visualize them and that works for you, that's fine. But the way progression is seen is if you have something that you're trying to go for. And a lot of times I just feel like people are just going through the motions. And when they say, oh, I don't have any progress, well, how do you see progress if it's no bar that you set for yourself? That can be anything. That can be, oh, I'm trying to lose weight, or I'm trying to get better at my craft, whatever that is. I'm trying to get better at my marriage. Okay, what part of your marriage are you trying to get better at? Okay, how many pounds are you trying to lose? when you have a number or you have something that you're aiming for, it just helps. And when you reflect and be like, okay, did I get better? You can see the areas, or you can see how many pounds you lost, or you can see, oh, okay, well, I didn't catch an attitude today. I said I didn't want to catch an attitude for 32 days straight. I didn't catch one for 15. But if you don't have nothing that you are set for, then it definitely makes it harder. So by making it harder, the next thing that happens to you, you get frustrated. I might have said that already, and I know you have. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure you did. That's where the frustration comes in, because you feel like you just going day to day and nothing is getting better. In fact, it could be. You just don't have anything that's going to
reference
help.
point.
Yeah, exactly.
Another reason why people don't write things down, it's a double-edged sword, but it's a safety mechanism because there's no accountability. And now a quick moment from our sponsor, Journey of a Legend.
You. Yeah, you. What's your passion? Purpose. Every day you try, you succeed. The time is now. Journey of a Legend. It starts with you.
If you want to learn more or purchase merchandise, go to www.journeyofalegend.com. If I don't have anything concrete, it's kind of like, if I say I'm going to do this by this date, it's almost like solidified. And so when I look at that reference point and it hasn't happened, it's like, there's some accountability that you have, or if someone else saw it, that someone else knows and it didn't happen. And also with writing it down, because that's what you said, write it down. The comfort you have in the lack of accountability, because it's like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I don't have to see it. I can just say, I was just kind of shooting. I wasn't aiming for anything. I was throwing the ball. If it goes in, fine. If it doesn't, hey, it is what it is. The good thing is you can say, I want to do this. This is the goal. And I made it here. I'm that much closer. I've gotten these things done, and they are in alignment with the end game. It is a hard thing to stay enthused about doing something, and you said this in one of the other podcasts, and it looks like nothing's happening. There's no way you're going to get this done in the time frame that you feel it should happen. Or I'm watching this and it doesn't seem like I'm making a dent in anything. I'm just showing up and it still looks the same. The progress is in you showing up because you're committed, and at some point something is going to happen because you keep showing up. I've gotten fresh ideas before because I kept revisiting something. My perspective at some point changed. It's like, wait a minute, but it was because I kept showing up and lending the time to that particular task, thing, idea, or goal. And at some point there was some leeway, and it wasn't the finish, but it was like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. For example, I was having issues with a website, and it was just randomly, you're smart, you could have brought that to me, but through dialogue and assistance, it was like, well, why don't you do something or use a platform that's more user friendly to you? Because it doesn't mean this one is horrible, it's just not very user friendly for you, and you're having to rely heavily on the skill set of someone else. And you want to ultimately, if you can't get to this person, or you want it set up to where you can navigate it yourself. And it's like, did you ever think about this? And even when I brought it to you, you were like, oh, I just thought you were kind of set on that particular platform. And so if I had just been like, nothing's happening there, it is what it is.
Yeah, you could have quit.
Right. I would have never arrived at that solution that puts me in alignment with what I'm trying to get done overall. And that's to be on a platform that's more user friendly for me, so that I'm able to navigate and handle business in regards to everything else. That's a small thing for me. But there are people I know that every day you're waking up and you're just like, nothing's happening, but there's progress because you're getting up. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I keep telling myself there's success in your effort. There's a win in your will to continue to strive to go get it, no matter what it looks like. And so those things, keep putting one foot in front of the other until you can't. I say it to you, I say it to the kids. I'm still breathing. God's not finished. And every day your progress or your success or 100% may look different from what it did yesterday. Yesterday to you, it's like I kicked ass. I did everything. And the next day, it may be like, I didn't get this done. I got in the gym, but because for this random rush of people were in there with the gyms just being open, I didn't get to hit all the machines I wanted to. And I was kind of waiting around, hoping some other ones would open up. And because I stayed there longer, I didn't get to have my meditation when I got in. So when I got in, I was rushed and I had to, and so on and so forth. It's a domino effect because of you spending more time here and there. So you may feel like it wasn't a great day or it wasn't a win for you, or I don't think it was 100%. But if you were executing to the best of your ability and still putting one foot in front of the other and pushing and moving, and like, I'm going to get as much done as I can. Progress, not perfection. There was some progression in the day. You got some of the things crossed off of your to-do list, and you have to look at that. It's not, my plan was to get all 10 of these things done and I only got 3. That's when you start like, this day was a wash, but it really wasn't.
You got something done.
Oh man, I'd rather have 3 things not marked off the list than none at all.
If you don't get any done at all, at some point you got to look at the lack of effort there. But people tend to be too hard on themselves. Well, it's a double-edged sword with that too, because you got to really keep it 100 with yourself. You can be too hard on yourself about not accomplishing things, and then the flip side of that is you not hard enough on yourself and you give yourself too many passes.
You're too lax, huh?
Yeah, because you can go through the day, and if you look at your mental film throughout that day, you be like, man, I spent 3 hours on social media. I know dang on well I could have been doing one of the 5 things I said I needed to get done a day, and then I just let it pass by because I spent one too many hours on that. Or whatever it is that you do that you get caught up in, and you look up, now it's evening time or afternoon. And depending on whatever it is you're doing, it may take longer because of whatever the day brings during that time. But anyways, the point is, you just have to be honest with yourself in terms of what kind of effort you're bringing. And then if you are, like you said earlier, if you are giving 100%, and only you know that, and those things that you didn't get done, don't be so hard on yourself saying that I should have gotten all that done, because you can't control how your day goes sometimes in terms of like what's going on. Anything can happen, an emergency, a blown tire, anything. So you just roll with the punches, and whatever it is that you can get done and you can control, you control that and keep it pushing. And then God say the same. You wake up the next morning, the stuff you didn't get done the day before, then you got another shot to get it done. So it's all about your efforts and just being honest with yourself, not being too hard on yourself. At some point, I'll get repetitive with that because it's not rocket science, to be honest. It's just more or less, what can I control? Let's get it done. And if I didn't do it, if I wake up the next morning, let's get it done that day. You just keep attacking.
I've written stuff down. You've seen notebooks everywhere. And I'll go and pick up one of those books and look, and I don't even realize I've done some of this stuff already. Like, oh, that was on my list. I need to cross that off. So that writing it down, moving forward with intent and purpose, and just making that decision, no matter what, I'm going to give 100%. It's about progress, not perfection. I'm going to get as much done as I can within my control. And the next day, wake up and repeat. Continue with the thought of winning the day, showing up. And it's all about progression, not perfection. And you don't have to be, like you said, so hard on yourself. Just keep digging in there. We are, and I hope you are too. And as I said before, think about what you've done sometimes versus what you haven't done. That's another thing that just can really overwhelm you. Start thinking about all the stuff you haven't gotten done. It's like, wait a minute, why don't I think about what I have gotten done?
It'll actually give you some momentum to carry out stuff that you haven't gotten done, because you'd be like, oh, well, damn, I have achieved or accomplished a great deal of the things that I wanted to do. But you, like you said, you get so focused on what you didn't do, you don't even give yourself enough time to pat yourself on the back for the stuff that is crossed off. Or in your case, you didn't even know you got it done because you was so focused on, ooh, I need to do this, that, and the other. And you didn't even revisit. Again, people, having it written down, it helps a lot, just because you don't want to have all that Not that it's unnecessary, but you don't want to have all that in your head if you don't need to have it there. It's just space you can release by having something written down.
And then you forget it too. We're talking about our brains are like big computers. You have to save stuff on a computer. You close the screen, and it's, oh, I needed that. Or something is lost. You want to save it like you'd save on a computer. It's writing it down and you can go back to it, storing it somewhere. I would continue to say the same thing. But the goal for us is to continue to show up and give in the best way we can. Hopefully there's a takeaway from it. As I've said earlier, I'm hoping and looking forward to you guys sending us some suggestions or just your thoughts on takeaways, anything. We're open and big on the dialogue. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to keep this conversation going, or suggested topics, you can shoot us an email at realfitradio@gmail.com. Our podcast drops every Monday. You can catch a snippet of our latest one on our Instagram at realfitradio. If you're not following us, you definitely should be. As always, we hope this inspired, impacted, or empowered someone. Until next time.